Welcome to today's video where we're talking about Canada's energy and critical minerals. Canada sits on some of the world's most valuable resources: oil, gas, uranium, and critical minerals like lithium, nickel, copper, and rare earths. These materials are essential for everything from electric cars, smartphones, and defense technologies, yet despite the abundance, Canada risks being left actually behind. Other countries move quickly, we debate, delay, and fall behind. Today we're breaking down Canada's fight over critical minerals and energy, why it matters, who's investing, who's controlling the supply chains, and what the next few years mean for Canada's global standing. Thank you for joining us today, and please subscribe and leave a like if you like the content. On August 26, 2025, Canada and Germany announced a landmark agreement to deepen their cooperation on critical minerals. The partnership aims to reduce dependency on single resources by reinforcing collaborative efforts in minerals like lithium, copper, nickel, all those different stuff, and materials vital to defense. Clean energy and advanced manufacturing industries. German Economy Minister Catherine Reisch and Canada's Energy Minister and Natural Resource Minister Tim Hodgson signed a non-binding declaration of intent to bolster collaboration, particularly in the midstream technologies such as processing, refining, and recycling. Two countries also seek to promote a joint projects fund through their public investment and encourage stronger commercial research partnerships involving companies and financial institutions. This agreement reflects the shared commitment to a secured, diverse, sustainable supply chains in the face of global disruptions and global geopolitical tensions. Canada is coordinating with its allies to consider funding critical minerals projects aiming to diversify simple supply chains currently dominated by China, and move mirrors the U.S. government's partnership with MP Materials to develop domestic rare earth supply chain. However, unlike the U.S. deal, where all the input is directly domestically, Canada seeks to distribute output among its allies, including the G7 and NATO countries. The focus is on minerals affected by the China's export restrictions, which are hampering production capabilities in the West. This collaboration reflects a broader strategic effort to secure access to essential resources for technological and economic resilience. By pooling resources and expertise, Canada and its allies aim to establish a more resilient, competitive supply chain that can withstand the geopolitical pressures and market fluctuations. Energy isn't just minerals. Canada's LNG exports from the West Coast are finally coming online, and Germany is interested. Europe still struggles after years of reliance on Russian gas. Canada's LNG could help, but we're late by a lot. The U.S. has been exporting LNG for years and profiting billions, while Canada debated environmental approvals. They delay highlights and reoccurring theme. Canada has resources, but bureaucracy slows us down, and it's not just LNG. Canadian oil and gas projects also face delays, permitting issues, and political hurdles, meaning other nations often beat us to the market. It's a familiar story. Rich resources, slow delivery, missed opportunity. The global energy landscape is shifting, and Canada must act swiftly to capitalize on its resources and meet the growing demand for cleaner energy alternatives. Private companies are moving faster than the government. Cyclic Materials, and Canadian startup backed by Amazon, Microsoft, BMW, is building a $25 million rare earth recycling plant in Kingston, Ontario, opening early next year. This is significant because these companies don't trust China's supply chain. They're betting on Canada not just for mining, but for recycling and refinery. Implications are huge. If Canada becomes a hub for critical minerals, recycling critical minerals, it could create thousands of jobs, boost technology manufacturing, support the North America's supply chains, but with government support, scaling these operations could be difficult, and the Kingston facility will process magnets from end-of-life products and other industry magnet waste, producing recycled mixed rare earth oxides that can be reused in rare earth magnet supply chain, as well as nickel, cobalt, hydroxides, and this initiative represents a critical step toward establishing a circular economy for critical minerals. Ottawa is heavily investing nearly $500 billion in mobilized for energy, port, and digital infrastructure. To support the critical mineral development, on the top of that, the Critical Minerals Infrastructure Funds is interjecting $1.5 billion over 7 years for roads, electrification, and processing faculties. But here the challenge: the infrastructure takes years to complete. Even with money in place, Canada risks moving too slowly, while global competitors lock in contracts. Example, this company in Quebec are building rare earths supply chain, but delays in approval, labor shortages, and permitting hurdles can slow the progress. Government spending helps, but timing is everything. Critical Minerals Infrastructure Fund aims to provide funding support to eligible projects that will directly contribute to the expansion of critical minerals production and associated infrastructure. However, the effectiveness of this investment will depend on the efficiency, implementation, or coordination with provincial and territorial governments. The stakes are global. Allies want resources. Companies are investing, but bureaucracy, slow political decisions, weak policy risk leaving Canada behind. If Canada fails to act, these critical minerals and energy resources could enrich other countries instead. And it's just economics. It's geopolitics. Whoever controls minerals and energy controls technology, defense, and global influence. Canada's next steps will be to determine whether it can be a global energy technology leader or just a supplier for other nations. This fight isn't theoretical, it's happening now. The next few years, 5 years, are critical. The global demand for critical minerals is expected to increase significantly in the coming years, driven by transition to clean energy, the rise in electric vehicles, advancements in technologies, and Canada has an opportunity to position itself as a leading supplier. But it must act decisively and swiftly to capitalize on this opportunity. To sum up, Canada has world-class resources, growing global demand, and strategic allies ready to invest. The problem, turning that potential into action before the rest of the world passes by. The fight over Canada's energy, critical minerals is the power, influence, and future of the nation. If you want more talk about Canadian politics, energy, global strategy, subscribe. We don't sugarcoat anything here, and we break things down. What actually matters Canada's future and the world's future. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you.